Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, where we have started the process of laying in water and sewage for this economy, which is proving an interesting challenge. What I want to do in this part is put in both the domestic water and the sewage for Coalville. But before that, I need to talk about a few things. First things as usual, big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. And I still agree with the general consensus that doing this on an existing playthrough is very time consuming, but at the same time I'm actually finding it very interesting, especially testing different combinations. Now, as I stated in the previous video, I'm not going to show you the whole process blow by blow, so every one of these videos is going to start with a bit of an update. Now, Tourist Town, I've tested it 3 times now. It seems to be okay for a basic water supply, but what I would recommend is that if you're doing something on a very small scale, it really pays to have a technical office with water trucks and sewage trucks in, because there does seem to be occasional inconsistencies with the economy. And also you notice that when you first start out after a load, all the water's empty, so there seems to be a period where this water system fills up. But overall, this town seems to hold together. They complain about the poor quality of the water because we haven't got any water purification, but we will be fixing that. And that also reminds me that there's been an update since the last video, and in there I think they've increased the capacity of the water purification system. I don't think it's actually the drinking water side. I think it's actually the capacity on the sewage side, because I think it was a bit low. It looks like there's 220 wastewater. The other big change as well now is we've actually got 3 sewage pumps. We've got one at 5 meter, one at 10 meter, and one at 15 meter. And I personally think that's quite a big step forward, because I've got a couple of situations where if I had to do it with the original, I think it was a 3 meter pump, as somebody pointed out in the comments, it was a little bit of a daisy chain. Now, what I have been working off camera is mainly doing the industrial sewage disposal. So what you see here from all the black lines is I've kind of laid in this sewage disposal system. If I press F3, what I've done is I put a big water well in here near the railway station. Ignore this one. I put this one in, and then I found out that it was a bit too close to the chemical plants. So what I've done is picked up this water well, and you can see all it does is supply to these factories. And I put a tower in to even the pressure after a bit of testing. And what I've done here with the tower is the fact that I can then supply the water up to here. The only big question I've got with respect to this is whether I should put pumps in. But I think that I'm quite happy that because I've put the 50 meter tower in here, this keeps this well supplied. Now, the sewage supply system was quite interesting, because if I press on F2, you see that I've got a little bit of a valley through the center here, partly due to the fact that the way these buildings, and I think this is a top tip, guys, that when you're putting in large buildings, be very aware of what you're doing with the leveling, because that can really affect your sewage system. It's all right if it goes up, although that's got consequences for the water. But just to give you an idea of what I've had to encounter is, see, we got terrain height here 10, 12, and then over here I've got batteries at 7.23 and 7.9, so they're actually lower than the main stream. But at the same time, it's very difficult to get a good height in here to be able to drain the water out to the actual sewage outfall here. And what I've actually done is put a single pipe in down to here, and I've kind of copped out a little bit with respect to the sewage supply to this area. And you can see I've also not put in the water, so what I've got is a single dedicated line all the way down. And when I've calculated that all 4 of these chemical plants are working, it's actually going to come very close to the maximum capacity for a big sewage pipe. So there's a bit of a tip there, guys. If when you're planning water disposal from a large industrial area, put in dedicated lines. Now, if I come over to here, I'm not sure whether the gravel plants actually, or concrete plants, sorry, actually need wastewater, but I put one in anyway down to here because this one was relatively straightforward. And what I've also done is I put this in before I found that this would work without water, but I put another sewage line in here, and this one was relatively straightforward. So I was quite happy to put this in. And you can see I've actually put a fresh water supply in here. And what that's really meant to do is ensure that the low quality water that I can get from the locality can be pumped straight into the concrete plant. And if I show you just here, you can find a small water well. You can see that the pollution around here is 6-7%, and even if it builds up, it's well within expectations. So that's good. Now, if I continue moving over to the final section, this is where I've been doing most of the work. This is over with the fabric factories. And I must admit, I've had a few fun and games with respect to this. What I've done is I've put in the main sewage lines for the whole town. And I've also put in the water distribution to the concrete plant. I originally put it up here, and I found that one, it was a bit too close. So you can see them here. I found it was a little bit too close to the heating plant. Also, the water wasn't good enough to put actually into the fabric factories up here, because the fabric factories need 85% water. So what I've done is I've kind of put a large well down here just for the industrial water, because by the time you add up the this needs 85 cubic meters of water, and I've got 2 fabric factories over here. One needs 11, which needs another 22. So there is a possibility to take off another low yield take up for supplying the population, but I think in some ways I'd rather keep the 2 systems separate. Now, the sewage supply system was fun, and it must admit, laying this in has taught me a vast amount. And what I've ended up doing is having to put 3 output pipes up to here, and the reason it all comes up to here is because this was the only consistent path that I actually found that could get into here to cover the whole town. So what I've done is I've brought the pipes up to here, and then I put 3 switches in. And this is a bit of a top tip, guys. If I press that and come here, what I will show you is that when you're laying in the water supply system, work from the output into the town, and then we'll look for the lowest points like this. So you can see we've got a point of 6.65 here, 6.7 there, and 7.11 there. Because if I come up into here, what you'll find is that with these depressions, again, it comes down to building leveling. So what you want to do is identify the lowest point in relation to the whole area that you want to put waste disposal into. And then you can bring all the pipes down into that. And if you know that from that position you can send the water to this position, it just makes life a lot easier. I also had an interesting situation here that because again it comes down to the leveling. You can see this is 42, this is 52, but in order to get the actual water supply, I had to put it there, but I couldn't go out that way because of the depression here. There's a kind of a little bit of a depression along here, which kind of messed things up a bit. Plus, I wanted to bring the foul water into here, so what I had to do is come off the back of the hill, round here, and brought that there, and I put a switch in here. Because again, I had a bit of a problem with some of the buildings in this area with the difference in height. So what I had to do is just come through like that. It's important as well that when you are planning this, just don't go on the assumption that if we put this in, this will take the water from everywhere. It doesn't work, guys, because if you've got a situation where a building is slightly lower than the water thing, the sewage will not flow into the capture tank. And one way to test it, if you're doing it for a major exercise like this, is to connect up the technical office and get the technical office to go out. And what I've done is I put the sewage loading here with the technical office there. And what the technical office does is, if the trucks leave and go out to drop off collect sewage or drop off water, then you know that you've got a bit of a gap. So that covers the main areas like that. I'm going to ignore that over there. So what we're going to do now is just start to work on Coalville. And again, I'm just going to start by the thought process. Now, Coalville's not too bad. We got a reasonable location up here to collect water, but I'm going to do the sewage first. And I think it's quite important to try and work out the sewage first. But what you'll see is we've got a little bit of a kind of a valley running through here, and I think this is where this map is very useful. And you can see I've got a little low depression here, but partly due to the laying the railway, and also, and what you need to do is go across the map like this and follow. So we got a height here of 7.43, but if I come up to here, we've got other low points due to leveling up to here. It's a 9. But if we go up through the center, it's still 9, 8, even up as far as here. So there's only 2 meters difference between here and here. But if I go up here, what you'll find is that we got 18 up there. And of course we got a very high level there. And of course we got the industry at the back there. So what I'm going to do to start with, whoops, I don't want that. Turn off that. Actually, is just put this back on actually. What I'm going to do is drop this down a little bit, so I've got a bit more of a gradient. So by finding the lowest point, and then even if it's just a bit marginal, is just by doing a little bit of terraforming. And we don't have to do a vast amount. I mean, you are literally just knocking it down a couple of meters. What I'm looking at is maybe a little bit more. What I'm looking for is somewhere around 5 meters, if I can get it. I have done this before, so that's a bit low. So what I want is about 5 meters. I don't want to go to 4 meters because then it can cause problems, possibly cause problems running to the wing. Just knock this back a little bit. I'm going to create a little area here and just check it. Oops. 5.8, 5.78. Maybe we need to just chase that a little bit out that way, like that. Now I'm creating quite a big area because this is going to be my capture zone. And then I'll just turn that off again. And then what we're looking for is a drop-off point. And again, we're going to go for the Victorian solution for waste. I don't want a treatment plant. I just want a discharge center. Well, that went quite nicely. I'm going to come out here, and what I want to do now is we're going to put in 2 switches. Actually, we'll put one there and one there, with a possible option of another one just there. And then we'll come in here. Now, if this has all been planned correctly, what we should be able to do is do that. And one thing I have noticed is that if you can get the green to go like that, you can get that one pipe to the next. And another top tip, make sure of your connections here. So that is our main feed line, but I've also got the option of a 3rd feed line should I need it. That's the way I'm looking at it. And then what we're going to do now is, I'm happy with the going up in that direction. What I want to do now is come up through here and find the, so we know that we've got a height of 5.3 there, 8.2, 9.3. See, this is getting a little bit marginal. See, this is 7.85 here, and this is, I don't know if this actually, yeah, this needs water, the gym. This is your potential problem areas, is, but However, if it's just one small building, it is possible that if you've got your technical office, go there. See, I think this is because it's leveled a bit. I mean, we've got a terrain height there. Got 6.69 there. So I could put in a sewage tank there and then cover this side of the map. So what we can do is just put in I think it's about as, let me just double check that height. 6.67. So we can put in and that covers this corner. And because this is a single unit, what we'll do is we'll take off there and run you up into there like that. We know we got this corner covered. Now the next thing I want to do is, we know we were going to need to branch off in different places, so what I'm thinking is to put the height here is 9.3, 10.3, 9.31, 9.43, 9.95. I think what we'll do is just squish this down a little bit. Kind of in here. We got a little bit of a hole there. And this is where this topographic map comes in really nicely. So it's 9.3. So actually, we probably don't need to level actually. Thank you, game. And what we'll do is we'll put the sewage switch just in that kind of point there. And we'll put a 3. And then we'll run. We'll just run you around like this. Yeah, I've had. If it says the tunnel's been above terrain, what you do need to do is just lay shorter lengths. It's different than when it says it's above the slope. And while we're here, we'll just do one of the quick fixes. Again, I'm not 100% sure this is necessary. I'm just going to put it in as it is necessary, and we can save a bit of money by putting you down into. Nope, that hasn't connected. That will. That gives that connection there. We got. Now, I'm gonna want to keep the option to be able to put up a sewage disposal into that area. And so what I'm looking for is to put another sewage switch up, say about here. You can see the terrain's coming down this way, so this is quite easy. I'll just put that in there. Actually, I've just kind of had a little bit of thoughts. I'd like to keep this open, so just come here, and I know it's going to be overkill, guys. Okay, we're gonna have to come down from a hill there. Hook you to there. That gives us a water connection there. I think what I am gonna do is just put another switch in here. I didn't realise how much pipe work I was gonna have to put in. So what we'll do is we'll just put another switch in here. I know it seems overboard, but I'll be completely upfront. It's something that can happen. And I think the other one was a medium, isn't it? And then we're another pipe all the way through. So we've now got 3 connections to there. We've got a a tank here. I get the height here now. This is 6.94. This is 6.31. So what we need is put the next one tight as we can with a slight angle there. I know it kind of overlaps a little bit with each other, but the other, again, it's something I found that what you want to do is overlap sewage pipes, just in case you do get that small building that. Now the maximum capacity here is 12 cubic meters. This is 36, so we can now hook that into there. So what we've got now is coverage on this corner of the map, this side of the map, which will drain down into here. Because I know I've got low coverage on this side, and I can now be a little bit more relaxed with respect. This is 9.71, 9.78. What I'm looking for is a pickup in the center reasonably. Okay, so we've got 8.7 on this side, 8.53 on this side. So what I would like to do now is we got, and I want to put another one right smack in the middle of town, but somewhere where it's actually it's got 8.67 there, but we need to get to that edge there. So what we're looking for is a point which is actually, let me just check, how much do you cover? You cover most of that, so we're okay there. So what we're looking at is a point somewhere around here. We need to include the fire station, because I don't think the fire station is included on that. So we're looking at something in this area, actually, aren't we? About there. So what is the height around there? 9.8. This is 9. This is 977. This is 965. I think we're going to have to sacrifice the fire station. The fire station is going to have to be serviced by the technical office. This is 8.59. So I'm going to be quite happy to put in something that put you in about somewhere around, if that area there. That's 9.74. It's too high. I just love this game. 9.9. I think the best we're going to get is in this area, 8.72. So what we'll have to do is put you in. So we got the coverage on that side. 8.72 there. That could be quite nice. I mean, the alternative is that we do a lift, which we could do. But you'd still have to put in a collection point up here, which is lower than this area. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll go in this side first and see what we can do. So we're looking at something around this height. This one, where is it? Can't find it. This one covers all the way into there. This one will cover, I mean, I'd like to get that. We're going to need a local one about here, aren't we? What's the height of these buildings? 8.54, 9.71, 8.8, 8.59, 8.84. I think what we're going to have to do is put in a one in about here. Here, the lowest point. I mean, putting one covering the lowest point isn't such a bad thing to do anyway. You actually service the prison, so we could kind of just put one about there. Which I'm a bit unhappy about that. That isn't connected. and we'll have to right, so that's now connected. We can put in a small sewage pipe which can come into there. That will now cover the lower part of the town, all these ones in low areas. So what we can do now is just push up through here. In fact, I'm kind of a bit inclined, but no, I mean, we got loads of connections down here, and I think this is what you've got to choose, is whether you're going to go for a switch or just put independent ones in. We'll just come in here, 9.23, 8.98, but this has got coverage from this side, I think. So I think if we put one in about here, that's 8.59, and then we can push up another one up a bit higher to provide coverage higher up. I mean, that's 9.38. And we can just cover into this corner. See what we can get in this corner here. So we're talking, I don't think this one goes up far enough. So we need to ensure that we get the orphanage and that one there. So we're looking about here. What's the height around here? This is 8.74. Wow. Okay, that could be a good location. So if we put in a sewage tank about there, literally covers that part of the town. And again, we'll just run as proper slope. I'd like it to be a little bit neater if possible. Oh, I must admit, this game does seem to have a bit of a mind of its own. So in theory, that's now covered that section. The only part we haven't covered is this top part. Plus, we've also got that bit there. The radio station. So just kind of have one. I think at the moment, what I'm going to do is just leave it from that perspective at the moment, and we'll rely on the technical services to provide the remaining cover for this area. I mean, I've got plenty of pipe work, and I've got my kind of collection area here. So if I do need to fill a gap, I can establish that gap, and then we'll be okay. So I think that does the main sewage infrastructure. Now we're going to put the water in. Now this is what I've done is I've practiced the kind of the process of collecting the water. We're going to have the main water treatment plant up here. No, not water treatment, water well. We're going to put, and now the actual water, Coalville needs a supply of 187,000 cubic meters of water. Now the big water well, technically a single water well should be able to supply this entire area, but the nice thing is that this has got various options, and I've kind of been going around here, so we could put 2 water wells up here should we need it. It's also very close to that what we call it, the bus station here, that will allow the workforce to come in here, because of course we're going to need a workforce for it. Now the water treatment plant, I think I can get in here. Game's been a little bit temperamental with respect to the road, but we're going to put of course we're going to put a big one in, because game we come to the big one. See, it says this has got a maximum production per workday of 300 cubic meters a day, which is more than the 187. Now what I want to do is put this in. I don't we could connect by that road. but I'm not. Let me just come here. My instinct is if I could get it round. But you can do it, game. I would like the reason I want to connect there, and we could possibly. Don't actually know. This is just a service road for the fire station. Now the reason I put it this way is that I've got this construction office here, and we've actually got the chemicals in here. So we've now got this capacity here. Now I did do a quick test, and what I found is that I've got to use 2 large pumps and possibly a water tower to kind of keep this supply even and consistent to the water treatment plant. So because I've got quite a lot of money, I'm going to put a water tower, but I'm going to put it over here like that. Actually no, maybe we can get it just in there, and then come. I want to put I'm going to put 2 large pumps here like this, and then we're going to have maximum capacity pipes. And you're gonna come into there. I quite like the idea of keeping the pipes together, simply because it just makes it easier to follow when you're trying to work out what the heck is going on with respect to if we go down, we can go down. And you're hooked into there. So we've now got the water supply into here with the chemicals. And the next thing, the one thing I didn't put in with sewage is the sewage, not the sewage treatment part, sewage loading, unloading. All about that. So we'll put that in. This is going to be, there's no point running a test if you can't actually see it. I want to put the loading station that's there. Oops. And then what I have to do is use a medium sewage pipe, and now this is a good example of why you put loads of connectors down there. Try and some infrastructure in the way. What we'll do is we could, I want to keep that one free, so just connects you up to there. What reminded me of that is the fact that I want to put the water loading unloading station about here. We've now got that there. Now, from the perspective of water distribution, the problem is the opposite to sewage, because again, it comes down to terrain. Because just because this little building here says this is connected, what you got to remember is if you don't have enough pumping pressure to get to, say, these high buildings over here, because if I show you these buildings here, you see these are 20 above, this guy's 11 above. Now, what you can do is pump the water in, or what you can do is use the advantage of height to actually get it in here. But 1925. Question is, can we get a water substation in? Need to get that connection there. We got to go put in roughly where those trees are. That's 27. That's 11. Yeah, I think. Thank you, game. So our first water, not pumping station, substation, is going to go in there and just press shift so we can see what's going on. Control, because I don't want to put the footpaths in. And what that does is, because that's higher than all these buildings here, the watering pump over here, to show you that. So this is 10 meters, this is 27 meters. So what we got to do is effectively put a pump in here, and my instinct is another big pump, because we got to pump water up to here, and we've also got to pump water to there, and I would like a third option for possibly pumping down into the center of the town. So if I so yeah, we'll put a big pump in. I mean, so put a big pump in here. Actually, no, we'll go small. I think it might be better to have so, say for argument's sake, we big pump. Sorry. So we'll put a big pump here, but rather than pump, one thing I've found is rather than pump out all three outputs, it actually pays to pump into no, let's just try the. So what we can do is go down. This is 56. Yeah, I think we can run you up to there, and then what I found is that although these say 20 cubic meters, they will go up to 30-40. So it pays to put medium pipes into. What we'll do is oops, what happened there? We'll just run you up. You can go into there. That just leaves one supply, and I'm very tempted to put the supply, as it's pumped, is, see, that covers, oops, no, that covers that side. So my instinct is, because this is a pump supply, is to put in possibly a pump in about here. What this is going to do is, if we can, just want to check that footpath. Oh, you can come into there. And then we'll put in a. I'll just put the medium light supply in there. Now I'm not just going to leave it at that, because at the moment we don't have any water to the bottom of the town. I'll show you that. So we got, basically we got coverage there and coverage to here. So this segment in here is kind of still left a little bit exposed. So what we're going to do is get rid of you. And and what I would like to do is, I think we could do it with small pumps now, is run a small pump down here in order to supply this bottom corner of the town. And also if we put a splitter distribution thing in here, that should ensure that we go. But the problem we've got is we'll probably need to put a pump to the splitter first, so that we got the pressure to come out the other side. I think it will work. If it doesn't, then we go back to the drawing board. I think what we'll do is we'll put a... This is where it all gets, it can get a little bit congested. Actually, we got kind of area here. But watch your power supplies as well. And what we'll do is we'll put a splitter there. We'll run a big water pipe to there, run it through to there, and then what we'll do is, oops, no. There's a lot of water consumption down here, so my instinct is to actually zoom in a bit, is to put 2 down here, even though technically the coverage should be enough. If we put 1 there, possibly 1 down here as well, like that. I think the key is to oversupply rather than undersupply. Come on. Oh, it's got the... pipes everywhere now. Right, guys. Now comes the moment of truth. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a save so that I can come back and fix any problems. And we are now ready for liftoff. We'll just get in position and we'll just watch everything miraculously appear. You watch the money go down dramatically, because you've got to remember it is building everything across the map, not just in Coalville. It's building the water supply in Tourist Town. It's putting in that industrial supply and sewage supplies. Right. Pause very quickly. Just set you up crudely. Obviously, I'm going to do this properly. You pick up chemicals, and it's going to take a little while just to get work. Oh, we got workers out here. So what's the problem we got already? Okay. Let me just check that. So the tower's filling up. Have we got any workforce in here yet? We should get our first delivery of chemicals. What should happen is, right, we've got no flow on here. Didn't I put up a bit of an oversight, isn't it? I mean, and this gives you an idea of what I've been doing. What's up with this? So it seems we got a bit of a dead zone Oh no, it does take a little while for the water to spread across the map. We've got green across the map, but that doesn't mean that everything is working well. And what you really need to do is come in and look in here and see if they've got full flasks. Because if they don't have full flasks, what happens is you will get a message at the top that says unable to have drinking water. And in fact, you can actually check these got 2 supplies there that we've got here. Now we've got full flasks across the map. That's pretty solid. Now the ultimate test is come in here, assign you and you. Okay, where you go? Ah, they're actually delivering to the factories. But you actually look at the factories, you'll see that the workforce is actually still working. Although this one's saying it, oh, these guys don't have drinking water. I wonder if that's because that's the mod. Interesting. Let's have a quick look, shifters at it from this perspective. So it looks like we've got water supply all the way across the map. Sewage flow. Let me just... Wow, we're getting 32 cubic meters already. Oops. Went on fast. This is a good example of why I said that you need multiple stations down. Why do I keep pausing it? Sorry. You can see here we're already producing 112 sewage from there. And if we... I've actually found it's quite a bit useful because you can see the lines. So you can see here we've got excessive pressure coming here. We're actually picking up 53 from here, which is not good because this has only got a maximum capacity of 12. That means that this tank is, I don't know, it's glowing red. We get an occasional red from here. So what we probably need is another pickup from here because we've got a lot of apartment blocks here. So if I come into here, what we're looking for is about 9 meters here. So if I... This is what I've been doing to actually test it, is... Oh, just... Whoops. Well, you can do it. And then... I mean, this could be just complaining because it's above capacity, because this could be a medium supply line. But what we'll do is I think somebody actually recommended that you see if that will... Actually, let me just change this. One way to test it is to we come in here, we increase this to... It won't connect to that. If we increase this one, maybe I should do them all in. Just put you down to there. Whoops. Get rid of you there. Proper slope. Probably need to take this. Right, let's just redo this pipe, but I can tide it all up. This is just down to testing. Get you there. Get you into there. Just build this up. And we'll just see whether that actually solves the problem. So this one's growing green, still flicking into red, even despite the fact that's a large pipe. This one's flicking into, because it's small, more, I think it's doing the job. We are getting the flow going. Now what you see on the buildings, it says unable to support sport and culture. The reason for that is that I think because we've updated it, takes a little while for things to settle down. I think overall what I've put in does seem to be, you can see that it is starting to work through the system. We'll just go back to water flow. This one's a little bit overloaded, but it's still there. Everyone's got a nice strong, so the water supply system is pretty good. I think that's working. It's just the sewage system needs a little bit of work done on it. Go back in again. You can see that line there is can't remember if that was medium, or that could possibly do with and that, yeah, it's probably because it's probably a medium pipe there. This one's going here. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, I think the game's not very good at balancing supplies from the common source. This tower's staying full, that's good. This one is here, but I think overall this area here is still going there. The sewage is filling, is holding, and if we go back to here, sewage flow. See, this one's not really picking up anything, and I wonder whether in my desperation I've put it a little bit too high. Come in here. This is 6.9.2, 9.6. Yeah, I think this was that was a bit of a waste. So what I'm going to do, just to wind up, is we know where some of the hotspots are now. So what I'm going to do is reload the game, and then we're going to take a look at fixing some of the issues. So here we are, guys. We're back on my lovely map here. Right, first things first, let me just come in. That's the sewage that's got the problems. What we'll do is we'll just remove you, and I think we'll just use a medium pipe for there. Now we know that this pickup here has, oh, not that one. Was it? Did I have a connection problem here somewhere? It's this one here. It isn't powerful enough. So we'll just take you out, and we'll upgrade you to. Actually, what we could do is take you out to there, and you we've upgraded you to large. I think these were large, weren't they? Oh no, it was probably this one, wasn't it? So we're I think it was this one that was glowing red from time to time. So we'll just fix. Just kind of take that one, the big sewage pipe. Quite interesting that sometimes it snaps, sometimes it doesn't. I wonder if I've turned the snapping off by accident. That's it. I think sometimes it depends on the direction you're actually coming from. So we've now upgraded that one. And we need to replace this pipe, water pipe here. And I think we'll just put a big pipe along here. There's the other thing I did. Okay, so we got that there. That's connected to there, and that's where the connection to the water pipe, wasn't it? I didn't put that in. So we need to put a big water pipe from here across to there, up to there. Of course, we're going to need a big pipe. Tidy this up a bit. Oops. So we come there. I think this was a medium, wasn't it? Luckily, oops. Sometimes it won't join near roads. No. Is that large then? It's a large, so yep. And then we need to take you out there and you to that. That needs a potential supply down to that side. That's connected, that's connected, that's connected. And that just, my inclination at the moment is just to retest it with this build and then see whether we need the extra pickup from this up in this area, whether this one will handle it. Now it's got a large size pipe. That's what I'm going to do, guys, just to finish off. Just save the game back over so that we've saved our changes, and we're just going to kind of pick up here, save a bit of time once the water plant here is, or treatment plant is finished, and we'll just do a quick annual purchase of chemicals, get it running. Sign you there and there. Plug the chemicals. We won't assign the technical office, and we'll just let the game settle down. First things first, come into here, we'll just test the water flow. It's kind of got everything going. Go underground. This one's a little bit overloaded. These guys are glowing red. This one's a little bit overloaded. Maybe I need to upgrade this one. This one's kind of glowing. Now, again, one thing you do want to do is wait for it to settle down, because obviously when you first fire it up like this, it gets a little bit kind of heated, because of course every building is drawing water to get these water quality tank things build up. But I think that's over there. We haven't actually had such a big impact. Let me just put the foul water. So this one's still kind of flipping into the red, but it's not building up. So I'm not. So it's kind of like flipping into the red. I think it's almost like it's flipping into the red to say that it's got a surge. This one up here, I think what I might do is break this, find a low point for this one, so that I could put. No, I think it'd be okay. Of course, this one won't do anything because this is the feed that comes down from up here for the trucks. Citizens, yep. I can imagine you're probably complaining elsewhere. And right, so just gonna let it run. And what I'll do is I'll just give you guys a bit of a quick demonstration of how all the water supply is working in here. And of course the sewage won't be working because there's no fresh water up here. So, but what I'll show you is the water flow. And again, the underground's a little bit clearer. What you can see is that the water here is being picked up, shipped up to here. And of course there's no construction going on. And what you'll see here is the my factories are going, but this isn't overloaded at all. This works quite well. And I'm not exactly sure. That's the, I think that's could be, so we got a sewage drop off down to here. And if I flip to the sewage output, what you see is that we're getting foul water coming out here, but it's very sporadic because it depends on what the production is. So this side of the sewage system is working. Now if I get out of here and we flip over to chemicals, just to show you how, oops, then I'll just show you here. What you see is a little bit of flow there. You can see that the water's flowing down into here and it's happy. And we're just Skype over to here. I'll just give you a quick overview of our little town over here. It's generally okay. Everyone's, anything is they're complaining about poor water quality. And if we, again, if I just flip to the sewage supply system or sewage flows, so again, sometimes it's a little bit, you see there's not that much going on at the moment. I don't think there's any problems with disposal. And of course the good quick check is the fact that all the trucks are quite happily sat in here. And again, just if we go back to Coalville, wait, whoops. And we'll just find the office here. So Q&A there, but these guys will go out to service the industries. So at the moment I'm quite happy with this. The only one that's complaining is this one. So what I might do is add this one, put a water supply up here for the brick factory, but that will also mean we'll need to put a sewage connection up to here as well. But I'll do that off camera. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Any opinions or observations, feel free to chuck it in the comments. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.